Hello dear student, welcome to our new session of your year-long course, and it's our second lecture of vector. In last lecture we'll studied about what actually vector is and how we'll represent any vector quantity. Now in this lecture we'll discuss all the types of vectors, which I already tell you which types of vector we discussed in this lecture is collinear vector. First is your collinear vector, second is your parallel vector, third is your anti-parallel vector, fourth is your negative of a vector, fifth is your zero vector, sixth is your coplanar vector, seventh is your position vector, eighth is your unit vector, and ninth is your equal vector. So write down, my dear student, first type of vector is collinear vector. Now see what actually collinear vector is. So collinear vector is basically, let's suppose we have two vectors. I'm talking about collinear vector. So collinear vector is basically two vectors are said to be collinear if they lies in same line, or we can say two vector is said to be collinear if they are parallel to each other. Two vectors are said to be collinear if they lies in same line, or we can say they are parallel to each other. So I'll write here, two vectors are said to be collinear vector if they lies in same line, or if they lies in same line or parallel to each other. So we can say that two vectors are collinear if they lies in same line and they are parallel to each other. Those vectors are called collinear vectors. Like if we have two vectors, let's suppose one vector is this, it is A vector, and second vector is this, let's suppose V vector. So you are seeing, my dear student, both the vectors lies in same line. So we'll say A vector and B vector are lies in same line. So we'll say both the vectors are collinear vector. Or second condition of collinear is, let's suppose first vector is A vector and second vector is B vector. You are seeing, my dear student, these two vectors are parallel to each other. So we'll say A vector and B vector again are collinear vector. So my dear student, for collinear vector we have two different conditions. One is either the vectors lies in same line or two vectors are parallel to each other is called collinear vector. Now moving forward, I hope you understand. Next is your parallel vector. See, parallel vector is also called like vector. Second is our parallel vectors. Now see beta, if vectors are parallel, then they also called collinear vector as well, because we know that if two vectors are parallel to each other, then they are also said to be collinear vector. For collinear we have two different conditions. One, either vector lies in same line, or we can say both the vectors are parallel to each other. So if vectors are parallel, two vectors are parallel, then they are collinear as well. So I'll write here, two vectors are said to be parallel vectors if they are collinear and parallel to each other. And second is the direction of both the vectors must be same. The direction of both the vectors must be same. And third thing is parallel vectors are also called like vectors. Like vectors. So we have three different conditions on which we'll define parallel vector, my dear student. First, if two vectors are parallel, then they are collinear as well. Second thing, both the vectors are parallel, their direction must be same, and parallel vector is also called, my dear student, like vectors. So see, if we have a vector and another vector is b vector, so you are seeing here that both the vector are parallel to each other and their direction are same. So we'll say a vector and b vector are parallel vectors. Now see, if both the vectors are in same direction, then we'll say angle between these vectors, angle between a vector and b vector, if they are parallel to each other, is equals to 0 degree. So remember one thing, if two vectors are parallel to each other, then their direction is same, and if two vectors are in same direction, then angle between those vector is 0 degree. So this is all about parallel vector. And one more thing, my dear student, if the magnitude of both vector is different, see this line and this line comparatively are of different length, b vector is greater by length as compared to a vector, still they are parallel. So I'll write in form of note, it is not necessary for two vector to be parallel if their magnitudes are different. If their magnitudes are different. So if the magnitude of two vector is different but their direction is same and they are parallel to each other, then also we'll say a vector and b vector are parallel to each other. So I'll write, if magnitude of a vector is not equal to magnitude of b vector, but direction of a vector and b vector must be same if we wish that a vector and b vector are parallel to each other. Now moving forward, third is your anti-parallel vector. So write down anti-parallel vector. So next is our third discussion, it is anti-parallel vectors. So two vector is said to be anti-parallel, and see, anti-parallel vector is also called unlike vectors. So first point is anti-parallel vectors are also called unlike vectors. Now, if two vectors are parallel to each other but their direction are opposite, then we'll say both the vectors are anti-parallel to each other. Although their direction is opposite and their magnitude is different, still we'll say both the vector is parallel to each other. So I'll write here, if two vectors are parallel to each other, but their direction is opposite, to each other, but their direction are opposite to each other, then we will say a vector is anti-parallel to b vector. So my dear student, let's suppose we have a vector and another vector is b vector. So now you are seeing here that the direction of both the vector is different but they are parallel to each other. So we'll say a vector and b vector are anti-parallel vectors, or we can say anti-parallel to each other. Now I'll write, if their direction is opposite. So one vector is A vector in this side, other vector B vector is in this side. So both the vector are in different direction. So angle between these vectors must be 180 degrees. So remember this thing beta, if two vectors are opposite in direction, then between them angle is 180 degrees. So I'll write here angle between A vector and B vector is 180 degree if they are anti-parallel. If they are anti-parallel to each other. So this is one of the important thing, that if two vectors are anti-parallel, then remember my dear student that angle between both the vector must be 180 degree, and both the vector must be parallel to each other but their direction are opposite. And one more thing which is very important to understand, direction must be opposite and must be parallel to each other, although their magnitude may or may not equal. It cannot affect. So the magnitude of vector is not affect for anti-parallel or parallel condition. Anti-parallel means opposite in direction, parallel to each other. Angle between two vector is 180 degree. Second thing, for parallel vector, both the vector must be parallel to each other, their direction must be same, and between them angle is 0 degree. So remember this thing my dear student, that if two vectors are in same direction, then their angle is 0 degree, and if two vectors are in opposite direction, then their angle is 180 degree. So this is all about parallel and anti-parallel vector. Now moving forward, next is our equal vector. Equal vector. So first, second, third and its fourth, that is equal vector. So my dear student, two vector is said to be equal vector if their direction and magnitude both are same, then only we'll say two vector is equal vector. So I'll write here two vectors are said to be equal vectors, equal vector if their direction and magnitude is same. So let's suppose we have two vector, A vector and this is your B vector. Now see, both the vector are same by magnitude and their direction is also same. So we'll say A vector and B vector are equal vector. So you have to remember dear student that two vector is said to be equal if their direction is same and their magnitude is also equal. Then only we'll say two vector is said to be equal vector. Now moving forward, so fifth type of vector is negative of a vector. So write down negative of a vector. Fifth is negative of a vector. Negative of a vector. So what do they mean by negative of a vector? Negative of a vector means a vector is said to be negative of that vector if their direction are opposite and their magnitude is same. So I'll write here a vector is said to be negative of a vector if their direction are opposite, if their direction are opposite and magnitude must be same, and magnitude must be same. So negative of a vector means a vector is said to be negative of a vector if their direction are opposite and magnitude must be same. Direction must be opposite but their magnitude is same. So I'll write here, let's suppose we have a vector A vector, so I wish to write its negative form, so I'll make another vector, let's suppose B vector. See, the direction of B vector is opposite to A vector and let's suppose their magnitude is same, so I'll write A vector is equals to minus of B vector. This is how we'll write negative of a vector. So this is all about negative of a vector. I hope you all are understanding different types of vector. This is basically theoretical approach. You have to learn this, you have to understand this and move forward. So let's move. Next type of vector, it is coplanar vector. So write down coplanar vector. Sixth type of vector is coplanar vector. So my dear student, we must know that we have three different types of plane. Combination of axes is called plane, and we know that we have three axes: x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. All the axes are mutually perpendicular to each other. If we'll combine x and y, it considered to be plane. So let's suppose we have x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, which is called Cartesian system. This is your xy plane, this is your yz plane, and this is your zx plane. So my dear student, if we have two vectors, let's suppose a vector and b vector. These two vectors lies in xy plane, or we can say these two vectors lies in same plane. Then we'll say these two vectors, that is a vector and b vector, are coplanar vector. Coplanar vector, because these vector lies in same plane. Or we can say, let's suppose we have y vector and z vector. See, y vector and z vector again lies in yz plane. So we'll say yz vector, y and z vector are coplanar vector, because these two vectors lies in same plane. And one more thing, dear student, for coplanar vector you must have more than one vector. For only one vector we cannot define coplanar vector. Okay, so I'll write here more than one vector, more than one vector, or we can write two or more than two vectors. If two or more than two vectors, lies in same plane. If two or more than two vectors lies in same plane, then we will say vectors to be coplanar vector. So remember this thing, beta. If two or more vectors lies in same plane, then only we will say the vector is coplanar vector. So I hope you all understand what coplanar vector is. Now moving forward, we are talking about now zero vector. Write down, seventh is your zero vector. So what actually zero vector is? So that vector whose magnitude is nothing, we can say 0, is called zero vector. So I'll write here those vector whose magnitude is 0 is said to be zero vector. So remember this thing, beta. If the magnitude of vector is nothing, so if magnitude is nothing, then we cannot make any arrow, because the length of arrow represents magnitude of vector, and we are talking about zero vector. So if we are talking about zero vector, then their magnitude is 0. So there is no any probability to draw an arrow, because zero vector is having zero magnitude. So this is all about zero vector. Now moving forward towards eighth type of vector, it is unit vector. This is very important, beta. You have to understand each and every concept of unit vector. So my dear student, the term unit means unity, unity means one. So I'll write we are talking about unit vector. So unit vector means those vector whose magnitude is unity. I'll write here those vector whose magnitude is unity. Those vector whose magnitude is unity is called unit vector. So those vector whose magnitude is unity means, my dear student, 1. Unity means 1. So those vector whose magnitude is 1 is called unit vector. I'll write one more definition of unit vector. Those vector whose magnitude is 1 is called unit vector. So remember this thing, beta. If the magnitude of vector is only one, then we'll say that vector is to be unit vector. Now see, my dear student, these types of vectors are only used to define the direction of any vector quantity. There is no any use more about unit vector. Unit vector is only used to give the direction of any vector quantity. So I'll write here, unit vector is used to give the direction of any vector quantity. So you have to remember, my dear student, unit vector is only used to give the direction, nothing else. Unit vector is only used to give the direction of any vector quantity. So as on, unit vector is basically those vector whose magnitude is 1, or we can say unity, and these types of vector are only used to give direction of any vector quantity. Now see, my dear student, unit vector is of 3 types. When we are talking about straight line motion, because I will already tell you that we have 2 different types of motion. One is straight line motion, or we can say linear motion, and second is your rotational, or we can say circular motion. So if I am talking about only for linear motion, then unit vector is classified into 3 types. One is along x-axis, second is along y-axis, and third is along z-axis. So unit vectors is of 3 types. Along x-axis, first it is along x-axis, it is I cap. Second is along the y-axis. So along the y-axis, it is j cap. And third, it is along the z-axis. So along z-axis, it is k cap. So remember, my dear student, any unit vector you will take other than I cap, j cap or k cap, you will take even all different types of unit vector. But when we are talking about unit vector, then you must understand, my dear student, that unit vector is basically those vector whose magnitude is unity, or we can say those vector whose magnitude is 1, because unity means 1. Second thing, these types of vector is only used to give the direction, nothing else, because their magnitude is 1. So there is no any further use of unit vector. But unit vector is very important, because if we are dealing with physics, and in physics if we are dealing with vector quantity, then it is compulsory you have to give the magnitude as well as direction of vector quantity. So for direction, we'll introduce a term called unit vector. So we have 3 types of unit vector. One is along x-axis, second is along y-axis, and third is along z-axis. So along x-axis, my dear student, the unit vector is I cap. Along y-axis, it is j cap, and along z-axis, it is k cap. So I'll make unit vectors as, see, we have Cartesian system. This is our x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So remember, along x-axis, unit vector is I cap. See, I am pronouncing I cap. Similarly, along y-axis, the unit vector is j cap. Similarly, along z-axis, the unit vector is k cap. So we have three different types of unit vectors. Along x-axis, it is I cap, along y-axis, it is j cap, and along z-axis, it is k cap. Remember, their magnitude is 1. These unit vectors are only used to define the direction of any vector quantity. So I'll write here magnitude of I cap, magnitude of j cap, and magnitude of k cap is equals to 1, because these vectors are only used to give the direction. Now moving forward, let's suppose we have any unit vector. Let's say is a vector. Let we have any unit vector, let's suppose a cap. So a cap is equals to vector itself upon magnitude of that vector. This is called unit vector. So vector itself upon magnitude of that vector. I'll write in literature vector itself upon magnitude of vector is called unit vector. So the magnitude of unit vector is always, remember, 1. Now see, if there is an equation, it is look like 3x plus 3y plus 4z. This equation can be write as well 3i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap, because we know that x, y and z gives the information of transaction along x-axis, along y-axis and along z-axis. If this equation says, let's suppose a particle is there which is defining motion according to this equation. So this equation says particle is moving 3 along x-axis, particle is moving 3 along y-axis, particle is moving 4 along z-axis. So x means unit vector along x-axis, that is I cap. Y means unit vector along y-axis, that is j cap, and z means unit vector along z-axis, that is k cap. So this equation can also write as 3i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap. X for I, y for j and z for k. I hope you all understand that unit vector is basically vector itself upon magnitude of that vector. We have three different types of unit vector when we are talking about linear motion. But once we are talking about circular motion, then we will introduce two more unit vector. One is radial unit vector and second is tangential unit vector. I am describing those unit vector as well. See, if particle is in circular motion, I'll write here unit vectors if particle is in circular motion. So my dear student, let's suppose we have a particle and the particle is moving in a circular track. Let the radius of this circular track is r. We are talking about unit vector in circular motion. So I'll already tell you that unit vector, either it is in circular or in linear or anywhere, unit vector means that vector whose magnitude is 1. So we'll introduce two new unit vector. One is r cap called radial unit vector and second is your t cap called tangential unit vector. So we have two different types of unit vector. One is radial unit vector and second is tangential unit vector. Radial unit vector, again the magnitude of radial unit vector is 1 and the magnitude of tangential unit vector is also beta 1. Remember this thing. So r cap means radial unit vector. So radial unit vector is always lies, see this is the line called radius. So along this line, see along this line, the unit vector which lies is called radial unit vector. One more thing my dear student, this radial unit vector is also called normal unit vector. This radial unit vector is also called normal unit vector. Why this is called normal unit vector? Because see, if I'll make a tangent here, this line is called tangent, and with tangent this line making angle 90 degree. So whatsoever line is, if with tangent it makes angle 90, then that line is called normal line. So you will see here this unit vector lies on normal line, then that's why we'll call it normal unit vector as well. Now moving forward, we are talking about tangential unit vector. So the unit vector which lies along tangent on this line, because this line is tangent, so this unit vector is called tangential unit vector. So we have two different types of unit vector when we are talking about circular motion or when we are talking about rotational motion. One is your radial unit vector and second is your tangential unit vector. Radial unit vector is also called normal vector and tangential unit vector is also is basically that unit vector which lies along the tangent line, is called tangential unit vector. I hope my dear student you will understand each and every topic related to types of vector. I hope you all understand types of vector. Now moving forward to position vector. So position vector, this is again very important concept. Position vector is basically represented by r vector. Position vector is represented by r vector. Now see my dear student, we have, let's suppose, a Cartesian system. This is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Along x-axis we know that now unit vector is I cap and along y-axis unit vector is j cap. Similarly, along z-axis, my dear student, the unit vector is k cap. This point is called origin, where each value consists 0 value, so 0, 0, 0. Now let's suppose in this Cartesian system we have a point, let's say A. We have a point, let's say A. So remember one thing beta, if any point or any particle is placed in Cartesian system, then we are capable to write its coordinate. I'll write in form of note, if particle or point is present on Cartesian system, then we are capable to write its coordinates. We are capable to write its coordinate. Remember this thing, if any particle, any body, any point is present in Cartesian system, what Cartesian system means? Cartesian system means x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So if any particle is placed in Cartesian system, then for that point we are capable to write its coordinate. So we have a point which is placed in this Cartesian system. So we are capable to write its coordinate. So let's suppose the coordinate of particle is x comma y comma z. The coordinates of particle is x comma y comma z. Now see what actually position vector is. So position vector is a straight line which join the particle with origin. This point is called, my dear student, origin. So straight line joining the particle with origin, having magnitude, see, length of the line represents magnitude and direction. So this line is called your position vector. So this is about position vector, which is represented by r vector. I am repeating once again, straight line joining the particle with origin, having magnitude as well as direction, is said to be position vector. So this line carry magnitude as well as, my dear student, direction. So this line is called position vector. Now position vector is represented by r vector and it is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. This is the value of position vector. Remember, my dear student, x, y and z. These are the coordinates of particle. Coordinates of particle. So in formula of position vector, the formula is basically xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. In this formula, x, y and z are, remember, coordinates of particle. X, y and z are coordinates of particle. So without coordinate, we are not capable to write any particle position vector. So I'll write the definition of position vector. It is straight line joining the particle with origin, having magnitude as well as direction. So I'll write here straight line joining the particle with origin, having magnitude as well as direction, is called position vector, Straight line joining the particle with origin, having magnitude as well as direction, is called position vector. And the formula of position vector is xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. So I hope you all understand what actually position vector is. So this is all about position vector and types of vector. I hope you all understand how to write, how to understand which nature is of vector and how will establish the knowledge of vector. Now moving forward to our next topic, write down our next topic. It is expression of a vector. Write down expression of a vector in terms of expression of a vector in terms of I cap, j cap and k cap. Expression of a vector in terms of I cap, j cap and k cap. Expression of a vector in terms of I cap, j cap and k cap. Expression of a vector in terms of I cap, j cap and k cap. I cap, j cap and k cap, my dear student, we all know I cap, j cap and k cap are the unit vector along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Along x-axis, the unit vector is I cap. Along y-axis, the unit vector is j cap, and along z-axis, the unit vector is k cap. So now we are writing an expression of vector in terms of I cap, j cap and k cap. Let's suppose we have a particle, my dear student. This is our Cartesian system. Let's suppose this is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. This point is origin. Let's suppose we have a particle. It is moving along x-axis. Let's suppose by a distance of 4 meter. I'll write here a particle moves from point O to point A along x-axis by 4 meter. So here we have a particle which is moving along x-axis by a distance of, let's suppose, 4 meter, and thus the particle started its motion from point O and moved till 4 meter till point A of magnitude 4 meter. So I'll write here the value of OA is 4 meter. Now see, my dear student, the same particle moves from point A to point B, let's suppose, by a distance of, let's say, 2 meter. So I'll write here particle moves from point A to point B along the y-axis by a distance of 2 meter. By a distance of 2 meter. Now see, my dear student, the particle moves from point A to point B by a distance of, let's suppose, 2 meter along y-axis. So I'll write AB is equals to 2 meter. Now see, let's suppose this particle moves along z-axis from B to C. Let's suppose the distance from B to C is 5 centimeters. So I'll write here particle moves from point B to point C by a distance of 5 meter along z-axis. So see, my dear student, the circumstance is like this. We have a particle. The particle started its motion from point O and it moved towards point A by a distance of 4 meter. Then the particle moves from point A to point B by a distance of 2 meter. Then the particle moves from point B to point C along z-axis by a distance of 5 meter. So what we'll see here, beta, we'll see O is starting point and C is last point, or we can say final point. So I'll write here O is considered to be initial point. So what is the meaning of initial point? The point from where motion started is called initial point. I'll write here point where, from where, not where, from where motion started is called initial point, and C is your final point. It is your final point. So what is the meaning of final point? The point where motion stops is called final point. So I'll write point where motion of particle stops is called final point. So the scenario is we have a particle and the particle is moving 4 meter along x-axis, 2 meter along y-axis and 5 meter along z-axis. So if we wish to write the coordinates of particle, then we are capable to write its coordinates. So the coordinates are, I'll write here, coordinates of particle is 4 along x, 2 along y and 5 along z. So the coordinates of particle is 4, 2, 5. 4, 2, 5. Now see my dear student, if I wish to write these dimensions in vector form, then we know that along x-axis the distance is the points are OA and the distance is 4 meter. It is along x-axis, and we know that along x-axis unit vector is I cap, along y-axis unit vector is j cap, and along z-axis unit vector is k cap. So I'll write in form of vector. So OA vector is equals to 4I cap. Why 4I cap, my dear student? Because we know that along x-axis the magnitude is 4, and for direction we will introduce a unit vector. So unit vector along x-axis we know that it is I cap. So OA vector will be write as 4I cap. Similarly, AB vector can be write as 2J cap and BC vector can be write as 5K cap. Why? Because AB vector is basically along x-axis, and along OA vector is along x-axis, AB vector is along y-axis, and BC vector is along z-axis. Now see my dear student, if I'll join initial point and final point with a line and put the direction as well, then this line is called basically displacement vector. Or we can say final position vector, So I'll write here final position vector, or we can say displacement vector. So what is the meaning of final position vector, or we can say displacement vector? It is straight line joining initial point and final point having magnitude as well as direction is called final position vector, or we can say displacement vector. And this final position vector is basically sum of all the vectors, that is OA vector, AB vector and BC vector. So I'll write here final position vector is basically, write down, it is meaning of final position vector. OC vector is basically final position vector. And what is the meaning of final position vector? And remember, final position vector is also called displacement vector. So I'll write straight line joining initial point and final point having magnitude and direction is called displacement vector, or final position vector. So remember this thing beta, this is your initial point and this is your final point. So straight line joining initial point and final point having magnitude as well as direction is called final position vector, and final position vector is also called displacement vector. Next thing about final position vector is it is the sum of all the vectors. So I'll write here in form of note that final position vector, that is OC vector, is sum of all the vectors, So here what is other vectors? It is OA vector, AB vector and BC vector. So we'll write OC vector, which is basically final position vector, or we can say displacement vector. So final position vector, that is OC vector, is equals to sum of all the vectors, that is OA vector plus AB vector plus BC vector. Now if we wish to write its value, so OA vector is equals to 4I cap plus AB vector is basically 2j cap plus BC vector is along z axis having magnitude 5. So I'll write 5k cap. So my dear student, this OC vector is basically final position vector or displacement vector. One more term is there. It is also called a resultant vector. Resultant vector. So meaning of resultant vector is basically sum of all other vectors, and other vectors are OA vector, second vector is AB vector, third vector is BC vector. Their magnitudes is also given. So if I'll apply mod, on this OC vector, then we'll say it is now the magnitude of resultant vector or final position vector or displacement vector. So for if we apply mod, I'll write here, if we apply mod on final position vector or also called displacement vector or resultant vector, then it is its magnitude. So magnitude of OC vector is equals to, write down its whole magnitude, it is OC vector mod of OC vector is equals to, my dear student, OC, which will be equals to mod of 4i cap plus 2j cap plus 5k cap. Now we'll move forward. See, I'll make a line from O to B. So if you see here, we'll form a triangle called OBA, or we can say OAB, and similarly we have other triangle, it is OCB. We have two different triangles, my dear student. One is OAB and other is OCB. So according to triangle, I'll write here, in triangle OBA, or we can say OAB, in triangle OAB, we know that the value of OA and AB is given. So I'll write, in triangle OAB, we'll write OB square is equals to OA square plus AB square. See, try to understand this thing, that OB square must be equal to OA square plus AB square, OA square plus AB square. Similarly, in triangle OBC, in triangle OBC, now see, my dear student, OC square is equals to, in triangle OBC, so OBC, try to find how it will be. It is OC square is equals to OB square plus BC square. OC square is equals to OB square plus BC square. So we have two different triangles. I hope you all understand this point. That is, we have two triangle. One is OAB and other is OCB. In triangle OAB will write OB square is equals to OA square plus AB square. Similarly, in triangle OBC will write OC square is equals to OB square plus BC square, my dear student. Now see, OC square can be write as OB square can be write as OC square can be write as value of OB square, it is OA square plus AB square. So OA square plus AB square plus BC square. Instead of OB square, we'll put its value, it is OA square plus AB square. So instead of square, we'll put root. So OC is equals to under root OA square plus AB square plus BC square. So OC is equals to under root, what is the value of OA? It is 4 square plus what is the value of AB? It is 2 square plus what is the value of BC? It is 5 square. So it will be equals to under root 16 plus 4 plus 25. So 1625 under root 45 units. Now see, OC is basically magnitude of resultant vector. So again, how to find the magnitude of resultant vector? So the formula for finding magnitude of resultant vector is under root x square plus y square plus z square. From this we will get formula of resultant vector, magnitude of resultant vector, formula for magnitude of resultant vector. So magnitude of resultant vector is, my dear student, under root x square plus y square plus z square. So I hope you all understand how to find the magnitude of resultant vector, which is OC vector. Now see, if you want to find the direction of resultant vector, see, direction of resultant vector. So direction must be given by unit vector. So I'll write here direction of resultant vector. We know that in physics for direction we'll use unit vector. So I'll write here, for giving direction, we will introduce unit vector. So what is basically unit vector here? So we'll give the direction of resultant vector. So it is OC cap, which will be equals to OC vector upon magnitude of OC vector. So what is the value of OC vector? It is 4i cap plus 2j cap plus 5k cap. As we all know, 4 along x, 2 along y and 5 along z. And what is the magnitude of OC vector? It is root 45. So this is the value of direction of resultant vector through unit vector. So in this lecture, we'll discuss about all the types of vector: parallel, anti-parallel, negative, zero, coplanar, collinear, unit vector. And in this topic, we'll learn how to express any vector quantity in terms of I cap, j cap and k cap. And in this topic, we'll learn one more thing, that how to find the magnitude of resultant vector, magnitude of any vector. It is under root x square plus y square plus z square. What it means? What is x, what is y and what is z? X is basically coordinate along x-axis, y is coordinate along y-axis and z is coordinate along z-axis. And for unit direction of resultant vector, we'll learn vector itself upon magnitude of that vector, because with the help of unit vector, we'll give the direction of any vector quantity. So I hope you all understand today's topic. In next class, we'll discuss more about vector and its property, their laws. Thank you so much, dear student. Stay connected with us. Thank you so much. Stay home. Take care.